Hi, Naidu. Thanks for your time today, and it's a pleasure to have you on this session. We do this with entrepreneurs, health tech entrepreneurs, where we invite health tech entrepreneurs to talk about their journey with healthcare, with AI, and it goes to our audience, 101genAI community, which is full of like other entrepreneurs like you, few investors, few doctors. Very, very warm welcome to the show. So before we start, Naidu, would love to know who is Naidu and what makes you you.
Yeah, thank you, Janardhan. Pleasure is mine. Know a little bit about myself. I'm a technologist to the core. How fragmentation, turning the fragmentation into the systems. I have MS in CS from FAU. I used to work for IBM building OS and device drivers. Later moved to Catalina as the chief architect, building the real-time retail systems where revenues grew up by 7x. But for 5 years, I was there and moved to Bay Area in 2000 to start a Uber like platform. At the timing was not right. Folded it, joined eSilicon as a founding architect, later as a CIO and CTO. And during that time, I also helped many startups as a first investor or advisor, customer. And that's how I met you at Lore.io.
I remember,
And
yes.
Coligomed is the culmination of that path, right? Using deep interoperability experience, operating at scale to fix the broken healthcare system. So that's about me.
Great. So, like, I've seen your journey, but I still remember meeting you at Silicon Valley, and when I didn't know anything about semiconductor, looks like you transitioned from semiconductor to healthcare. So, tell me, like, how did that happen? What motivated you? What is the core vision that continues to drive you, right? From like semiconductors to healthcare, it's a big change. So, what motivated you?
Yeah, so based on my previous thing, right? If you look at it, one of my specialties the interoperability, either at a OS level, retail, or supply chain and EDA tools in Silicon, right, where I hold several patents. And in within my own family, we have healthcare operators as well as the clinicians. And constant conversations during the dinner table is the how fragmented the healthcare is. During these conversations, I decided if at all if anything healthcare is going to be my next gig. That's how Collegomate was born. But I didn't want to get biased by with an own family backing, and so I had several friends in Florida where work both technologists as well as the clinicians, and so called one of my good friend Manik, and he was bought into it. His wife was off, and then he introduced me to Dr. Rakesh Sharma, who is a well-known international cardiologist. So 15-minute call turned into 2.5 hours where he tried to do similar thing 20 years before. Then at the end, during the conversation, he started trying to convince me that why I should go ahead and do this. And that's how Collegomate was born. And, so yeah, so Collegomate exists to unify the care delivery to continuous care, right? So for between the clinics, health system, payers, and so forth, and with a patient-centric approach.
Very interesting. So, like, few calls are memorable. So, looks like this was one such call, and I'm glad you did it. In fact, like, I remember those phases, those early phases of Coligomed, where you were brainstorming with doctors. You were very early, and what a journey is so far. So, can you help me understand? Like, I understand the healthcare side of it, and I'm also from healthcare. I've seen this journey. Plus, help the audience understand like what is the underlying technology, like with AI, without AI. Because I remember you started even before, like there's this Gen AI wave came in. So, like, tell us the underlying technology before AI and how you are enhancing it with AI.
Yeah, so basically, like I said, a Collega in Latin is unification. The way we built it is that we are EMR agnostic, device agnostic platform. Tomorrow we need to integrate into new EMR. It's a 1 week effort. Brand new devices. Again, it is 1 week effort because we abstracted the layer that is not dependent on any of the EMRs and devices. That's how the system is built, and is highly microservices, and we are an AI first company. In addition to interoperability, my other experience is that we were the first company in the world to do chip design using AI. That was over 10 years ago. And many of the architects and engineering leaders followed me into it, and that helped us to, we were born in Google Cloud, and we were fortunate to have one of the early access for the Google's Metform 2. Now, of course, we use OpenAI models as well as other models. But that's how Coligomate's tech stack is grown.
Interesting. So, like, doubling down on technology at the same time, staying focused on healthcare. What are the biggest challenges? Maybe we can talk about one big challenge that you are facing while building Coligomed?
Yeah, so healthcare is all about trust, right? So we are, like I said, we are being surrounded by physicians, but trust is super critical. One unique thing on Collegomate side is we are not only just administrative AI in the healthcare, we have both clinical AI as well as the administrative AI. So within Collegomate, the clinical insights that our AI generates never go to patients directly. So either our clinical team, where we have a large clinical team, or our customers' clinical teams reviews first. That means human in the loop approach is there that provides clear governance as well as it's we our folks are validating it before it exposes to the patients. That is critical until there is more AI regulation, healthcare regulation is there to that governs, right? So here we are self-governing it. So
Interesting.
another big lesson, my experience with running other startups and all, is that we don't build anything without a signed customer. More importantly, that is critical in healthcare because you can build all the things you want, but if it is not validated in a real life clinical settings, then it takes longer, right? So for everything that we do, we have a signed customer where they act as a design partner for us.
Definitely, definitely. You might have heard me like talk about it multiple times. The philosophy that you follow, I also follow is sell it, demo, build instead of like build, demo, sell. I think that keeps us grounded around what they are looking for. Going back to the point that you mentioned about trust and quality, first help us understand a little bit more. Like I understand that you have human in the loop, you have RLHF and everything, but let's let's look at the big picture in healthcare. How should one go about building trust? How should we improve, or how could we improve quality in healthcare? How can we validate or stand by the accuracy of the platform? And how do you track it? Like, what are the key KPIs? What are the key milestones? How do you track success? How do you track progress at
Yes.
Coligomed?
Yeah, one of the things that we have is that, like I said it right, our clinical team is there, and we have a telehealth natively built into the platform. That means every interaction with the patient is tracked within the system. That means nothing goes outside of the system. So what we started doing is that so we have a strong AI team, but wherever the things are needed, we rely on our other folks also. That's where JP, you and I've been discussing on building, the auto audit, right? That means all the calls randomized. We do have a full-time clinical leader that audits randomly. She sits on the calls. Um, it's, not letting our clinical team know in advance. So she randomly picks up, okay, what calls, because she knows from our dashboard, she can see what calls are going and all, right? All the text interactions.
Yep,
So
yep.
we, to scale it, and we are wanted to partner with you where you are saying that, hey, you would like to build the trust and quality as not afterthought, but it's the first principles. And that's what we are looking at.
Definitely, definitely. So just to let the audience know, so earlier what Naidu said is earlier they were sampling some of the calls like random sampling or maybe like single digit percentage of sampling. But now with AI, they are able to like listen to all the calls, analyze it from quality perspective, trust perspective, compliance perspective, and that increase the overall accuracy. So that's very interesting. And let's talk about impact, Naidu, right? So like you've been at it for quite some time. Your team is amazing. You have a lot of customers. Let's talk about scale. Let's talk about the impact that you are making in the healthcare community.
Yeah. So, so the what we have is that we are a young company by many measures, right? It's 4 years in the making. We are lucky that one of the unique thing that we did is that, like Dr. Sharma, right? We talked about. He convinced me that, hey, the best smart money is that I take my friend's money, and we ended up taking 50 plus physicians' money from 10 different states. There is every specialist possible is on our cap table who is helping to build the platform to try the write the various gaps or features that are there rather than a siloed approach. We took the platform approach, and that's the best decision again for us to get the initial capital from these physicians who are driven to help us build, and in a way that it is being built by the providers for the providers in a patient-centric approach where we have a 40 plus large practices, ACOs, and talking to various health systems that is deployed across multiple specialties. And so patients are not, you don't have to go to, if you have one chronic condition to endocrinologist, one chronic condition for cardiologist, but within our platform, we are like a EMR agnostic, right? We are also disease agnostic. Not all conditions may be there from the day one, but we have 30 plus conditions. We continue to expand on it. For example, we are putting in our roadmaps for next year as we speak, oncology and MSK and so forth.
Very interesting. So, like you spoke about all these use cases, and there are of course like use cases. You spoke about trust and quality. There's a lot of AI that your team is so talented. Let's talk about behind the scenes. Like now, let's maybe double down a little bit on the 101 GenAI partnership. You said that you're using it for quality compliance audit. Maybe you can give some specific examples. You spoke about telehealth. Anything else that you want to talk about? Where how is AI powering your orchestration? How is AI making accuracy and quality go up?
Yeah, so like I said, right, we are AI first, but at the same time, we don't have the unlimited access to the capital as well as the resources. So that's where 101 Gen AI comes. For example, a couple of years ago, when you came out from your previous gig, right? I didn't want to lose access to the talent, right? So that's when we were building the wound care platform. We had a specific gap of vision models. No one in the team had experience in the vision models, and that's what prompted me to talk to you. Hey, we need this wound measurement accuracy and so forth. That's how we started, partnering with you later on when we started building the multi-agent. We are, like I said, not only clinical AI, we have administrative AI where we are building a multi-agent prior authorization system, right? Orchestration is key for us, and that's how we've been collaborating. Now, we also mentioned that, as our scale of patients, calls are going up, and again, we are doubling down to start collaborating on the quality and trust metrics as well, our audit metrics.
Very interesting. So, Naidu, it's a pleasure to collaborate with you and so much to learn from you. And such a great partner, such a great customer to have. Going back to you during your previous intro, this is the part, by the way, I did not know, even if I know you for so many years. You mentioned about your ride sharing app, right? Like something like that. Like, tell me a little bit more about
Yeah.
that. Looks like you were ahead of your time. Tell me, like, maybe what did you learn from that and how that failure turned into a great lesson, or like what did you learn from that early startup in 2000?
Yeah, so like I said, I was in Florida, and there, right, is there. One of my classmate and roommate was here already. He was pursuing me for a couple of years. Hey, we need to start this and all. It's some startup, right? And where is the best place to start? So finally, he was proposing many things. I didn't want to get into consulting, this kind of stuff. DNA is on the product side, right? So when he proposed this, then I got in. The idea is brilliant, and also I had my doubts. Is the ecosystem ready? And but I, resigned and moved to Bay Area and started this. But one thing we are betting on is the Palm Pilot to take off, so that people can book their rides, right? So if you look at our blueprint and patterns and all that is exactly like a Uber like platform. But after MVP, I started talking to Kanwal Reiki, Shabash, all that, along with my co-founder, of course. Then realized that market was not ready. Immediately, so that's the lesson learned, that if it is not ready, you can be spending years. So I decided to fold it, and then so that's the thing, is that sometimes idea could be brilliant, but you need the timing is also, with respect, Collegomate, that's the lesson that I learned. And the healthcare and the AI, healthcare is highly regulated, and people are, very cautious, right? If you take the long sales cycles and all, if there is a reason, because there is a safety measure, so many, liability issues and so forth. But based on my prior ride sharing experience, AI experience, interoperability, and again, legend like Rakesh convincing that hey, timing is right, and that's what prompted us to double down. And I'm sure we are at a human infancy of AI adoption. That's future is very bright for healthcare AI.
Definitely, definitely. So I used to say that we were a little bit ahead of time, and I was talking 2007, 2008 when we were doing a ride sharing app in India. for auto rickshaws. Like I'll stop saying that, Naidu. And you were really ahead of your time. I think two lessons just to summarize. One is that of course timing is important that all the entrepreneurs know. But other thing that you're saying is that even if you are ahead of the time, it's okay. You just stay at it for many years, and then you will be ahead of other sides. Persistence and then timing, the other two things that matter. Very interesting. So moving from failure to success, let's talk about one success story. Tell me like some accomplishment that you're really proud of, and you would like to like brag about it. Like what is one thing that you want to brag about? I know
Yeah,
you're a
so
humble person, I do. Yeah, but good.
Yeah, so the thing that it is that what we have created at Collegomate, right, getting the smart money from not one institution, but 50 plus physicians from 10 different states. And I do not think that there is any other parallel or a company that did this. And then who are driving, not only they are not silent, okay, put the money and forget it. Majority of them are actually involved in helping us on a day-to-day basis, driving the requirements, becoming the first customers, referring the customers, right? So in many cases, when I'm in a call with the new, no, I never met, first introduction in the call, and they sign up. And nephrology, for example, until a week ago, we were not even having a nephrology workflows built. But intro call, nephrologist comes online and signed up in the call itself, says, yes, I am committed. And so same yesterday, we were at a ALF, one of the physician who runs large number of ALFs. And when we proposed 40 minutes into the call, he said,
Very
so that's
interesting. Very
the,
interesting.
typically it is not, it does not happen. And the reason those things are happening is that these physicians are very highly experienced, accomplished physicians. When they refer to their network, 80% of the sale is done.
Very interesting. What you are saying, I would say like I'll say two lessons for me and the audience here. So lesson number one is that I think we all chase investors to raise money, but if you can raise money from customers, then there's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
I think that's one. The second thing, which you did not say, but I'm interpreting it like that, right? There's also a sign of PMF, Naidu, right? That you go pitch to your customer and they get it, and they get it not just to buy the product, but they get it to be part of this journey, to become your investor, your advisor, and also customer eventually, right? But I would say that's a higher form of PMF. So very interesting. I would say like I think all the entrepreneurs should aspire to do that. So Naidu, like moving from Coligomed and then startup to a little bit more on the personal side. What do you do for fun, and how do you keep yourself always energized, always happy, always positive? And entrepreneurship journey is all full of ups and downs. So like what keeps you up and running all the time? What keeps you happy?
No, so yeah, it's an interesting question, right? Ever since I moved to Bay Area 25 plus years ago, right? I used to live in Cupertino, where next to PG&E Trail. I've been a avid hiker, it's like addicted to hiking kind of thing. That's what keeps me sane, and that's what keeps me detox from the digital world. That's the only time where I don't touch my phone for 3 hours or 3.5 hours when I'm on the hiking trail. The second thing is the gardening. I love gardening, right? Every
All right,
plant,
sir.
our previous house as well as now, hundreds of plants, everything I put it myself, touch it, care for it. So that's these two things keep me sane and,
Yeah, definitely. I've been on hikes with you, so I've seen your energy level. Never tiring, never give up, just like true entrepreneur, true Naidu. Gardening is something which is not for me. I think it needs a lot of patience, but like good to hear that side of you as well. But looks like you are an environment lover as well, linking the hiking and the gardening. Looks like you enjoy nature.
yep.
Interesting, interesting. And how does it help you scale Coligomet, right? So coming back to your personal life, your hiking, your love for nature, gardening, how does it help you scale, and how do you envision growing Coligomed like for many years to come?
Yeah, so those of us, like I said, I've been in startups for 25 years. Startup is not a joke, right? And also, so if someone thinks that, okay, I'm building a startup to make a quick money, it's not, right? So it is, that means you need to have a lot of endurance and clarity. Like I said, that's where my hiking trails, like I said, that you have to hike means the pace at which we hike. Some I go with my friends is very hectic, right? We used to complete the entire 8 mile hike in 2 hours. And now, of course, the as it gets in, right? That gives you the endurance as well as the clarity. And that's exactly what you need scaling. Now, even in Collegomate, one day you are a CFO, one day you are a CTO, or on the same day you may be playing all the roles, right? And now,
You forgot the janitor. You forgot the janitor part as well.
yeah, janitor part and all, right? So the same thing, the other quality is the gardening teaches you the compound quality of the sane and consistent, care, right? So these are all the traits you don't have to do for, living, but they are fun activities, but they are applicable in real life scenario to run a startup.
Definitely, definitely. And I do like you are a very positive thinker, visionary. What kind of books you read? Like any specific book that you can talk about, or maybe the people that you follow, leaders that you follow?
Yeah, so typically I've been in market all the time for 35 years or so, right? I big follower of Warren Buffett. I read his book so many times and follow him. And same thing with Steve Jobs on the creativity side and the innovation side. So biographies is first, and then also there are certain habits like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey, multiple books that I read. Almost every one of his books I read it. So those are my favorite. I also watch a lot of movies. Anytime I get my spare time, that's what I get different perspectives.
Very interesting, very interesting. So I know just to like end this session, some key takeaways, right? Like maybe you can give few one-liners that are very close to your heart, philosophies that you follow, and any key takeaways, any one, two liners that you follow, or you would like to share with the audience.
Yeah, so maybe like I said, I am a big follower of Warren Buffett. His famous saying is "Be greedy when others are scared or fearful." Right, that I follow to in my every journey, both in investment as well as the what futures to bet on and all. The second thing is even at East Silicon, I handled so many complex problems. Like I said, the first company in the world to do chip design in the cloud using AI. So the mindset that I have is nothing is too difficult, right? Just to decompose it, even if it is right, take it to small chunks and all. That's one thing. The other, I believe it to the core. Every day I say to myself, hard work never goes waste. Right. So you may not see immediate results, but the hard work that you put in may manifest in different ways. And then if you need some help, ask for help. No shame in asking, especially if you are marched into founder's journey and it's all thankless job, especially at the top, and you should ask for help. Typically, don't hesitate to ask, even if someone I haven't talked in many, many years, what I know,
Okay.
and I call and then ask for the help.
Definitely, definitely. Like what true words of wisdom. And on the last part, I would just add this: no one liner, no punchline. But like I believe a lot in humor as well. My team knows it. And I think I've seen most of the good humor coming from entrepreneurs, because I think that's how they keep themselves energized. Like it's so much full of ups and downs that even in toughest of the situation, they find a reason to smile and joke and just be happy, right? So yeah, I've seen you as one such person. Very interesting, Naidu. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Thanks for getting on this call. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, sharing your journey. I know you for so many years, but still I learned a lot today. And I'm sure I'll continue to know more about you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Naidu, and all the best for your
Thank,
journey with Coligomed.
yeah. Thank you. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you.